Joining us now is Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan. We got to talk about him because one of the interesting things that he did over the weekend, he used a secretary that received a $1.50 weekly pay increase on her paycheck as an example of the benefits of the tax overhaul of the tax bill. Is this going to be something that companies, this is something that takes care of the middle income Americans at the end of the day?
Well, it's good for Arkansas.
Yeah.
Whenever you look at, and our state is not high income state, but Walmart announced that they're giving all their employees a bonus, $1,000 bonus, depending upon how long longevity they've been with the company. The companies that I talk to are using it either to do extra pay for their employees or expansion. So either one of those is good for the economy. And then, in Arkansas, the standard deduction goes up, so that helps. So I think it's good, and it's certainly good for our taxpayers.
Go ahead. Walmart, one of the big companies, obviously based out of Arkansas as well, recently coming under scrutiny for raising the minimum wage at their establishment to $11, but the big conversation nationwide is $15 for a lot of minimum wage salaries as well. Walmart, some of the other corporations that Arkansas wants to bring to make sure that they have a home to set up. How do you look to court some of those companies into the state? How does this impact that local economy as well?
Well, first of all, we've been very successful. We've had over 300 agreements over the last 3 years, and companies expanding or coming into Arkansas. We are one of the leaders in terms of foreign direct investments and jobs created by that. We've had 5 Chinese companies that are coming in and investing, a large part of it to deal with our raw material from timber to cotton and processing those. So we have had a great expansion in terms of job creation. Whenever you look at companies like Walmart, they have to be competitive, and they're competing with Amazon. I'm very proud of what they're doing there. So that's good for our economy in Arkansas. But whenever you're looking at a state that's got lower regulation, that we're competing in terms of lowering our tax rate in this state, it's pro-business environment, companies are willing to come there and excited about it.
Governor, what's that balance that you have to walk when you're trying to attract a company or foreign direct investment using tax incentives or other types of incentives that make sure that it's going to be a good deal for the people of Arkansas? Because some states have come under criticism for offering incentives that would essentially cost the state money because of tax incentives that they're giving the company.
Well, you have to be careful. You don't want to give too much. You simply want to be competitive and also always look at the return. And so every incentive that we give, and it's usually a tax credit in terms of jobs created, and that we get a bigger return than the investment. And it's not something that's ideal, but you've got to compete with the other states to do it. Sig Sauer is a good example. We competed. They came in, put in a premium ammunition plant in Jacksonville, Arkansas, creating jobs. Delighted to have that because of the indirect jobs that are created from it.
Let's talk NAFTA, because you've been a vocal supporter of NAFTA, and that's of course at odds with President Trump's position. What do you make of his recent rhetoric about fair and, quote, reciprocal trade deals?
Well, we certainly want fair, and we want to be tough negotiators in it, but my message has been, while we want to have fair and tough trade deals that benefit America, we don't want to lose our global trading partners and recognize how important it is to us. And if we start setting up tariffs and barriers, agriculture would be the first loser. Arkansas is big in agriculture, rice, soybeans, etc., and we don't want to be able to shortchange that.
Do you think those recent tariffs that President Trump put on imported solar panels was a bad thing?
I would not say it's a bad thing. I don't think there's been any repercussions from that. I just say you have to be careful and pick your fights. We have a lot at risk in terms of Arkansas workers that depend upon that export market, as well as our farmers who are dependent upon trade with Mexico, Canada, and the global marketplace.
Arkansas recently eliminated the income tax for military retirement pay. Do you hope this enables veterans to open up more businesses in the state as well?
I do. I hope it'll have a couple of results. One is it's going to make our companies, it's easier to attract these qualified veterans and military retirees that are looking for a place to retire to come to Arkansas. So I think it'll help it to grow our state, attract those military retirees. But secondly, it gives them a great opportunity to have more money to start their business, to have a second level of employment, and that'll benefit the state as well.
In terms of the big business, small business mix in the state as well, do you see more of an immediate opportunity for some of these small businesses to thrive, build up within the state versus bringing in and pitching for an Amazon, which we know Little Rock had dropped its bid, likely because of what you just mentioned a moment ago in that strong partnership that you have with Walmart, perhaps. Where is the mix right now, though, in terms of the business side?
They feed on each other, actually, but to me, the one you have to realize that it's those small businesses, the retail shops, it's the small owner that's got an enterprise out there, a tire shop. If you put more money in the consumer's pocket, which we're doing through the federal tax bill, but also our state lowering the income tax, they're spending that money. That's helped drive the economy in the small business side. But then you also, I mentioned Sig Sauer. They have subcontracts with multiple small businesses around the state. And so you're benefiting them, the small businesses, as well. So they feed on each other. The key is that growing economy. We've had a long period of sustained growth. We're worried about a downturn. I think the federal tax bill will help us to maintain that for a longer period.
Governor, after the election of 2016, you sent a tweet that said, "Not since 1980 have the American people spoken so clearly for change. I was there with Ronald Reagan, and I pray Mr. Trump unites and leads." Has he been uniting?
He has a rhetoric, he's got a style that doesn't always bring people together. But it's very important, if you look at what has happened, he is accomplishing things that President Obama could not accomplish. We've got a tax bill that's been reduced. He's reduced the regulatory burden. He's returned more authority to the states. This is good for governors. And so, while the style is not my style, he's accomplished an amazing lot. And now he's got the opportunity. He's gone further than Democrats have in terms of for the Dreamers. He's put out a proposal that is very forward-leaning to remedy that unfair situation. That's no fault of the Dreamers. And so I think he's leading on those things. Obviously, he's balancing that with the border security side of it. I hope the Democrats come along and say this is a good deal for America.
One more before you go. We've seen a green wave here in the U.S. over the last couple of years with the rise of legalization, not only of medical marijuana, but recreational marijuana in a lot of different states as well. We know where Attorney General Jeff Sessions stands, but as someone who was once the director of the DEA, what are your thoughts on the legalization of recreational marijuana?
I'm opposed to it. I think in Arkansas, the people voted in medical marijuana. I've made it clear that we want to treat this as medicine. We're going to regulate it as medicine, but I don't want us to become a recreational use state. And if the federal government does not have a clear policy, or if they're going to continue to allow recreational use states, then it's going to be a floodgate across America, and ultimately it'll change our federal law as well. So this is a big deciding point for this administration as to how they're going to handle that.
Governor, thank you so much for joining us here today. Amazing insights to hear from you, and especially from your seat at the table on the kind of economy that we're looking at right now, and especially from the Arkansas perspective as well. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson there joining us on Cheddar. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be with you.